I think this is something that a lot of people are hesitant to talk about online, and that's burnout. I feel like we're talking about it now more than we have, but still, it's kind of taboo. It's still kind of hush hush. You kind of disappear for a little bit and then you come back and you're like, hi guys, sorry about that. I was just a little burnt out. Haha. And you laugh it off. And it's like, yes and no. Like, burnout's a real thing. And I think we need to move away from the hustle culture and we need to move into like a wellness culture and not the ridiculous, craziness that wellness can be, but like the authentic, the genuine, the real wellness, like, turning off your screen time at least 2 hours before you go to bed, drinking your water, eating 3 square meals a day, things like that. So although we're not going to get into the wellness portion of it, even though I could, because if you didn't know, I am a little bit of an undercover wellness girly, I'm going to talk about how to heal your creative burnout and reignite your passion, because this is something that I've gone through so intensely over the last 6 years. And I feel like it's like the trenches and then like you're great and then it's back in the trenches and then like, trying to figure it out. And I want to talk about that experience that I have with you. I want to help you prevent that. I want to help you recover. I want you to know how to continue with your creativity, to get those creative juices back and flowing in your veins, even though, you just were in a 6-month rut from burnout. Like, let's talk about it. Hi, and welcome back to the For Creators podcast by Lily. I am your host, Lily. Hi. And today's episode is for the ones who are feeling tired. No, I'm not talking about feeling like sleepy tired. I'm talking about feeling like emotionally, creatively tired, mentally tired. I'm talking about your soul being tired. The kind of tired where your ideas feel heavy, your creativity feels heavy, and you don't have that vibrant energy that I know you have. It just is dimmed. That's the kind of tired I'm talking about. And if you've been feeling that way, listen, you are not alone. I've been there, done that multiple times. I feel like I'm finally out of the rut. I feel like I can see colors brighter and I feel like I can hear sounds better. Like, it's crazy. It's just crazy. But that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about creative burnout. I want to talk about what it actually is, how it shows up, why it shows up, and how the hell to actually move through it. I want to start off with talking about what is creative burnout. I don't want you to get confused. It's not exhaustion, it's apathy. It's scrolling past your own ideas. It's doom scrolling for hours and hours on end. It's not creating your own concepts and kind of just copy and pasting everything else everybody else is doing. Or this is how it shows up for me. It's avoiding the camera at all times, not wanting to show up, doing everything you can to not have to film and push it back and miss deadlines. It's the feeling like suddenly your work is meaningless, like your creativity, your passions no longer matter. Or it's the feeling that nothing's landing, nothing is sticking. And sometimes it could even just be your body telling you to slow down, to relax, to pump the brakes. Headaches, low motivation, low energy, fatigue, just the overall not feeling like yourself. I have been there and I've gotten through it and I want to talk about it. Creative burnout isn't just physical, it's emotional, it's mental, even spiritual. It's the result of chronic overwhelm, pressure to perform, perfectionism, isolation, and constantly being on. And it doesn't always come from the work that you're doing. It can literally come from the outside world, especially when lately the world's feeling pretty heavy. I want to share my personal experience because I've actually been there and I'm coming out of it and I feel like I just finally got out of it. Between the state of the world, losing my creative rhythm, the pressure to show up all the time, graduating college, like it just all hit me. I moved, my cat had health issues, like I had health issues. I was diagnosed with insulin-resistant PCOS. Like there was so much going on. I felt like I was just waiting to like explode and crack. It just hit me like a wave and it just kept feeling like I was getting sucked under by this wave and I could not like get that breath of fresh air. I could not create. I didn't want to create. I had no desire whatsoever. I just wanted to basically bed rot pretty much. And not because I didn't want to, but because I literally had nothing left in me to give. I had nothing left. There was nothing there. Tank was empty, we were on E. And there was days where even, having to film like a brand deal or having to open up my editing software, it was a chore. It just was always like a chore and I would drag my feet to get there. And I hated that. There were days where like I was so upset because I'd want to create something amazing. I'd want to create something beautiful. I'd want to sit down in my makeup room and create, but I just couldn't. I literally could not get myself to do it. And I felt so guilty because how can you call yourself a creator if you're not creating anything? I want to talk about why creative burnout happens. I want to talk about it because it's so layered. There are so many different layers. I've got some of the common triggers pulled up. It is lack of boundaries, overcommitting, so saying yes to everything even when you're like totally at capacity. The pressure to stay relevant, not allowing yourself to actually rest, trying to worth your productivity. So like, depending on how much stuff you get done through the day is like what your worth equates, which I'm guilty of that totally. Consuming more than you're creating, which if you know, we have got to stop that. No more inspo scrolling. Inspo scrolling needs to end. And comparison. And they say comparison is the thief of joy, and I 1000% believe that. If you're living in content survival mode, it's only a matter of time before that burnout is going to catch you and rip you under its waves, especially if you do not protect your creative energy. So how do you get out of burnout? How did I get out of burnout? I think in talking about healing, you have to take a moment and really sit down with yourself. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution as much as I wish it was. But I got together a list of things that actually helped me. So the first one was just pure unadulterated rest, not just a weekend nap or a 30-minute nap here or there. No. True rest. No more phones after 5 p.m., dinner at 6 p.m., take a walk for an hour after the fact, shower, read a book, red light therapy, rest, journaling, listening to my music, just things that didn't require me to use my brain. Another one is reconnecting to joy, reconnecting to things that you absolutely love. I love swimming and going to the beach. So I started going to the beach and I started going swimming more because I love that. It was so healing. For you, it could be dancing, it could be journaling, it could be doing your makeup, it could be singing, listening to music. Do that. Go where you need to go to heal and reconnect with your joy. Another one that I'm still working on is create without expectations. So make something silly, make something bad, make something, even if you're not going to post it, just make it for you, not the algorithm. Stop creating for the algorithm. Create for yourself and talk to someone. I started therapy and that was life-changing because burnout thrives in isolation. So being able to talk with somebody, to sit down with it, and even if you don't go to therapy, even if you just talk to your friend, you talk to your partner, you talk to somebody who's going to listen, a mentor, a coach, me. If you want to talk to me, I'm here. I'll talk to you. That's what I mean. I think it's kind of difficult to say how do you prevent burnout, but there's things that you can do to just be precautious and try not to get there. I think this is the most powerful piece, and that is protecting your creativity. So batch and schedule your own content, create content, have content days. Do all the things that you want to do before you hop onto Instagram to inspo scroll. Schedule breaks in maybe content days or days throughout your day. Every day from 1 to 3 is just you time to figure out I don't know, something that's going to be restorative and healing for you. Or if that's at night, or if that's your morning routine, or if that's, every single Sunday you're going to have a dilly-dally day. Do something routinely, weekly. Always block off time for rest, for play, and recharge like you would a meeting. Block it off like you would a meeting. So if you want to paint for an hour every single day, then at 5 o'clock, from 5 to 6, you've got a meeting that you've got to paint, or whatever time that works for you, or whatever it is that you're going to do for you. Another one is have off-device hobbies. Have hobbies that aren't your devices, that aren't on devices. I feel like sometimes devices can be a little bit soul-sucking. I don't know if that's a little dramatic to say, but that's how I feel. And so having hobbies that aren't your phone, that aren't social media, that aren't, platforms, do that. Get off the phone. Have a day where you're not on the phone, or don't be on your phone from 6 p.m. to 9 a.m. You know what I mean? And lastly, prioritize yourself, your human, over the highlight reel that social media is. I want this episode to be your sign to take a break, to feel your feels, to put the phone down, to breathe, to let go. And to remember that your creativity isn't gone, it's just resting. And remember, you're still a creator even when you're not creating. You're allowed to be a human first. So if this resonated with you, send it to a friend who needs to hear it, leave a review, send me a message, check out my socials, whatever you want to do. And I would love to know your biggest takeaway from this episode. All of my socials are going to be linked down below. Hit that follow, subscribe button wherever you're watching this. And remember, your work matters, but you matter most. Thanks for watching. Bye.